Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 451. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Corey Feinsod.
You're breathtaking.
And Tony Korkanakis.
That's old, but
yeah, it's all right. It still works. We didn't use it last week.
It's spooky.
We are post E3 guys. Yeah, so
we were post E3 last week too, kind of.
Sort of. We
Yeah,
had post conferences.
Yeah, but there's been like interviews and other things that have been
Yeah,
coming
we
out.
have learned a little more.
I gotta say, like, I actually got to listen to some of the Giant Bomb interviews because they have those 4-hour long podcast interviews they do with the people. I listened to the whole Phil Spencer one.
Oh, I was gonna say, of course you did, Jim.
Of course you did. I got to hear what he had to say, and I'm pretty psyched for the next generation of gaming. I mean, it's like they have like a great vision with their xCloud, but it's not taking priority like Google, where it's going to be like, you know, they ignore the console because they feel like there's still areas where streaming's not going to work, and especially with data caps and everything like that, that they just feel like, you know, that's why you need to have the console and, you know, you could have the streaming service as well as the console. There's no reason to have just one. And they're bringing us so many services. It's really cool. Like they're doing that. And he's like, and in that regard, we want to be the best at the console. So it's cool to hear that at least the hunger is still there for that. Not like, because everything they're doing is like, I want this to be on this system and I want to be on this. And I love the fact his comment was, well, we have a great working relationship with Nintendo. And he's like, I can't comment to the fact about Game Pass on the Switch. It was something that I would love to see in the future, but that's about it. So it'd be cool. It'd be really cool to see. And I really do think we get xCloud Game Pass stuff going to Switch at some point. So, but anyways, before we get into the news, let's get into what we've been up to, guys. For those who also backed Bloodstained, that came out, and also came out to everybody today, I think. But
except for Switch owners.
Oh, except for Switch owners. That's 25th.
And if you have a digital PS4,
they didn't get the codes. They couldn't send them out.
It happened with Curse of the Moon too. It was like a week later.
Yeah. So I got my Bloodstained copy yesterday, which was shocking. I really I knew it was coming in, but when I got to my parents' house, I was like, oh, it's here. So I opened it up and I was like, wait, this is all I get? And then Corey's like, well, yeah, you get the DLC too. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I would have loved to have that Steelbook, but what are you going to do? So I got to play it though, for a couple hours today, and it cause I'm off. So it was really cool. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's like, I don't know what it was I was worried about with this. Cause Mighty Number 9, I guess, is what I was worried about. But I think he spent a lot more time and passion. You can see his passion for Castlevania in this game. Like, it's just like, you can just like see it. Like it's like, I really wanted to make another Castlevania game. But Konami was not working with me on this. And so I split off and I made you my game, but with elements of Castlevania. So I'm enjoying that quite a bit. I would say that the first boss for me was challenging because I do feel like the game didn't prep me well enough for that boss. Because it was like, I don't know, it didn't get me prepped for taking my time with him, rather than like the mobs in the first area are like blitz through. Yeah, there's some you may have to dodge a little bit, but it's not like anything I was too concerned about. And then I got to a boss and I died like 5 times, and I'm like, oh. And the last time I'm like, okay. The last time I'm like, let me slow this down and just really attack when I know I'm right and ready and do it. And that's what I did. And I also discovered things about this game, like attack isn't always the highest thing you want to go for. So it's pretty cool, like a little sub factors of this. But I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Graphically, it looks great.
Remember, the Castlevania games and how they played?
I was never. It's for me. I'm not a huge Castlevania fan. I have played them, but I was never like, oh my god, I got to get this game next. I got to get this. I think for me, what helped me pre-order this? Whatever it was, is pay for this early. Was because of Mighty Number 9. I get so excited for that guy breaking off that I saw this guy doing it. I'm like, let's give Mighty Number 9 some credit. But this helps me get more excited for Shenmue though. To actually have a product that's finished and actually is fun so far. I don't know how long the game is, but I'm definitely enjoying the combat, and it feels like what I remember from Castlevania. The side scroller, I wish she moved a little quicker, but that's my only really gripe about it. I feel like she moves a little sluggishly.
I wonder if the other characters have different.
Oh, maybe. I was really shocked about the attack in this game because I got a claymore, which was like I had what I'm early on in this game when that happened. I had a sword which was attack of 12 and a claymore attack of 20. So I'm like, well, I'm equipping the claymore, but you don't realize how slow it is. It's like you really swing it slow. So you're like, oh, I don't like this. So I went back to the sword, and just because it was faster and I do more damage, I felt like with that. So it's kind of a choice preference thing. So, and there's a whole like crafting system, like, making foods, there's potions, upgrading weapons, shards, which
graphically, how does it look?
Graphically, it's nice. It's very nice, actually. I mean, it's a 2D. I mean, it's like 2D style.
I'm asking because like Mighty Number 9, like the potential that we all were hoping, to like
the target render. I'll never forget that. I will never forget or forgive that.
Yeah, so it's like they were showing us what they wanted it to be, and then when we got it, it was like,
this was exactly
like, what are we?
No,
this
is exactly what was shown. Artwork wise, it looks just like that for me.
Yeah.
So everything looks the same that I've seen. I will say that I was shocked when I left the screen and went back, and the enemies were there. Like
they respawn.
They respawn behind you. So it's like you leave the screen and you go back to that next part, and they're there. I was like, oh, whoa, oh. So that was shocking to see. I haven't seen that in video game in a long time. I don't know if that was clearly done for nostalgia like reasons. Like I think that was purposely done. I don't think that was obviously technically done. There's a lot of DLC coming for characters and turbo mode and stuff like that, which would be cool. There's really cool stuff that you can move with like the player's hand and targeting and opening doors too and stuff like that, which is cool. But I'm enjoying it quite a bit actually so far, but I'm only like 2 hours in, but I think
what happened with Sekiro, Jim?
I beat the game.
Okay.
No, I told you, I feel like I beat the game after I beat that boss. I don't even know. I played the next area and I died instantly, and I'm like, no, I'm not going into this. I'm not saying I'm done with the game. Even if I am, I only paid $20 for it to begin with, and I feel like I accomplished so much by just beating those first two areas. Two is all I did, really. It was like the first area and then that second area, and I'm like, I feel so accomplished.
Are you gonna play Elden Ring?
Yes, I will. Yes, absolutely.
No, somebody mentioned like what your dream game would be like, and someone said they would love to see From Software make Castlevania.
Oh.
And I was like, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, Bloodborne's not too far off from that. I mean, it's like Gothic Victorian horror, but I would totally enjoy the shit out of that.
So I don't. So yeah, Bloodstained was good. What else, you guys? What have you been up to, Corey?
For me, not too much other than Borderlands 2. The DLC. I beat that, and it's definitely really very satisfying. They bring in characters from the Telltale game, Tales from Borderlands.
Okay.
And so that's cool to see because you knew that existed, and then this takes place after that. And it does, prepare you a little bit for what's to come, and to kind of give you an idea of like why, what happened to these different characters, and why are we on a different, sanctuary or whatever. So it's neat in that sense, and there's a lot of content, and they do introduce a new effervescence rarity. So they now have like common, rare, epic, legendary, and then pearlescent and effervescent. They also have a couple other from different DLCs and stuff. So they have like all these different rarities, but this one is like all the rarities combined. So like the skin is like a rainbow, and it like kind of shifts between the different colors. So it's like it's moving, kind of like a live skin almost. And the beams are higher, so it's like exciting when it pops out and you can see it. It's like, oh yes, to get that drop, and it's really cool to see. And then they also have these special perks if you get a combination of them. So there's one that's called the mouthwash, and then the retainer, and the toothpick. If you get all three of them, you get the hygiene perk, which allows you to run faster and jump higher. But it's just like that's neat because they haven't had like that kind of thing before, where if you like combine. They've had like, if you combine this, it's going to give you bonus, damage or something. But now they're actually saying if you combine these three different pieces of equipment, you're going to get a bonus to something. Like, and they have that for where you can jump and run faster and jump higher. They have one for the digit peak section, which is kind of like their horde mode, where they have a 3-set piece where if you have that, it does like doubles your health and does more damage when you're doing that. So that's really neat. I thought it adds a lot to the game to kind of, again, farm for and just keep doing the same, that loop, that Diablo loop. So they're just like doing the same thing over and over again. So you get better equipment, and they do a great job with that. And it does give you reasons to come back to Borderlands 2, which, again, 7 years old, and you're releasing DLC for free for a month, which is great if you have it.
Yeah,
and you can download it now. Like, just download. You don't have to own the game. You can just download the DLC, and then if you wanted to get the game, you could. And if you're a PS Plus member, you get it for free this month. And if you're a Game Pass, you get it for free. So,
cool. All right, Tony, what have you been up to?
Nothing for me. Yeah, I'm just waiting for
Hunter x Hunter, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so addicting.
1.5 speed thing has given me the idea to do this from now on from anime. Like, but the problem is like subtitles. I can't read that fast. Like, don't you have like a problem with that? Or you just dub it?
No,
it's okay with subtitles.
I think you get used to. I mean, I read fast.
I do too.
I think you get used
I do
to
too.
It.
Okay.
Try it out. Might as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is a great.
I mean, it's in Japanese. It's like you're not like missing out.
No, and like there's so many times, like especially with Naruto. Like I never finished Naruto because I just didn't like that. But all right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Anyways, all right.
Do it real quick. I know, because I mentioned Hunter x Hunter. I call it Hunter x Hunter. My coworker called it Hunter Cross Hunter. Have you heard it Cross Hunter or heard it as X Hunter?
I see it's Cross.
Yeah, I've heard Cross. I think it's supposed to be Cross because X in Japan is supposed to be Cross. Right. So like Smash Brothers, I think is like Smash Brothers Cross.
Right.
Whatever and stuff like that. So
I always say X, but because I see it and I say X, but I think it is Cross, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, gaming news. We've got a couple things this week. We have the MPD, which I don't have on here. If someone can bring that up right now while I bring in this other news, we've got a couple things from Cyberpunk 2077. The demo that was being played at E3 will be available actually for the public at PAX West. So I wonder if we'll get to see that ourselves here at home on the same time or similar time to that playable demo for that game, which is cool.
I mean, they showed it last time. Like they showed it the last E3, like a 40-minute demo. So it's
I'm really expecting to be able to have a demo to play that game to see what it's like. But it is a little ways off still. So it will also have multiple endings, which is interesting. So it's got that,
illusion of choice.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering. Immediately I went to that for some reason in this game, and I don't know. It makes me a little bit more excited, but again. Yeah, I wonder if that illusion of choice can finally go away when we're using cloud servers. Am I getting too far ahead? Like, am I getting like my head's in the clouds here? Am I getting like, I am? Okay. I don't know. I just feel like there's more to do there. I heard that there's somebody building a game based on one server rack. You could build an MMO finally with 10,000 players. So I don't know. I know there's capabilities from that, which are incredible. Like Stadia's got that going for it. I heard the interview from, again on Giant Bomb stuff, where they interviewed the guys from Stadia that were it was on there as well with Doom Eternal, and how they built that game immediately for like they had that out in Stadia right away, and they were shocked that it was like running as well as it was, and but they were saying like a lot of players are like some developers are actually trying to figure out what they could do if they had an entire server to themselves, and just how big of a game they can build. It's a cool idea. Again, it limits us based on ISPs. And the Google manufacturer's response was like the guy that was on that show, and I can't remember his name, unfortunately, said, well, we expect the internet providers to evolve with us. Yeah. And there you go. That was when I heard that in the car, I laughed because it's just like, I don't see this happening. They'll charge more with you. But I mean, people are paying, I think, $50 more to get over that 1 terabyte data cap for a lot of places. And I mean, I don't have one here, but I expect it soon at some point, and it's going to be a real pain in the butt. But I do expect it. I hope not. But so, what else we have? According to now the worst analyst I've ever read about, Pactor, has come out and said that he expects the PS5 and the Xbox One to both be $399. Of the Xbox Scarlett, sorry, just to be $399 at launch, which Corey said as well.
I mean, I expect that because I think with the PlayStation 4, it showed that like $399 is I think the highest you could price the entry level system.
But like they're really basing these systems now, and the thing is they're basing them based like on this speed, on this solid state drive. How do you release something for $399 with a solid state drive? I originally thought they would do a base system without that, but they're building these things around it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think they're just going to take a huge hit on.
It's got to be
hardware because all the other components aren't cheaper. I imagine if anything they'll be comparable eventually, but I mean, especially in the beginning, it really costs more to manufacture something in the beginning than the end, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, like solid state drives are way more expensive than regular drives. So it's just like,
and it's not just any solid state drive; they're
customized, right? Proprietary solid state drives. So I just don't. I mean, I don't know. Like I've been talking to other people, and like someone like, yeah, I expect like $499, $599. Like
that's what I expected.
I don't think. God, like entry level, like that'd be one thing if it was a premium one.
Sony and Xbox both proved, like Sony and Microsoft both proved, if you price higher than $400, your system's gonna fail initially.
Yeah.
Like you saw that with Xbox One, and you saw that with PS3. Like you're gonna fail initially. You're not gonna sell it. The only way you can succeed that way is if you have those multiple tiers.
See, like they could do. I mean, can they get away with a 256?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to have a 500 at least in that $399 system.
Mm-hmm. Especially with 500.
I know.
500 is not going to cover it, dude.
I know.
Bare minimum 1 terabyte.
But even the
you clear out your space.
But even the 500s are still up there.
Dude, I know.
It's just like that's my point. Like I do think a terabyte's base. You need to have that, but it's like I can't see how they do over 500.
You download Doom and half your hard drive's gone if you 250.
Especially if you're doing like 8K content and some of this stuff eventually. Like Jesus.
I downloaded some games for Gamecast, and like my hard drive space was like 33% left. I was like, what? And I'm like, I'm going through it. Like Red Dead was like 200. Or
it's ridiculous.
Like, get the fuck off of here. Get out of
here. No, and that's the other that's the thing is like you're saying just the 4K pack for Borderlands 2 was 20 gigs or something or something crazy like that. They might have had some other stuff in there, but like the texture packs are what's really going to take up space.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like, we're getting to an interesting part in technology where it's like we're limited by other factors. Like before it used to be like disk space on like a CD or compared to a cartridge or whatever, and then it was like read times, and now it's speed of the hard drive. It's like what the heck, what's going on? It's like. I mean, I don't know. I get it. Like, this is going to be better and everything like that. But like, is it really worth it? Is it going to be a big leap? I don't know.
I think. Like I was telling Mike, I think it could be. I think you can build a lot better, a lot bigger environments, and I think a lot more in-depth environments. Let me phrase it. A lot more. Like I'm just thinking about. Let's just take even like the best-looking games, like racing games, for instance. Let's take Forza, for instance. How great that game looks. If you look at the environment you're driving around in there, it doesn't look the greatest. The cars are where they spend the most time. But if you could load up that environment faster, I think it helps out quite a bit with adding more into it.
Well, I'm just looking at Cyberpunk and what they're trying to do with that. I mean, it's like,
I just feel like that could help out quite a bit, and that's what I was trying to explain to Mike before. And I don't know. I do think we need to move this way. I just think that we've fallen behind in technology for hard drives. I think that's the biggest problem.
Oh yeah.
Storage has fallen massively behind for us. I mean, using the device I'm on right now with Apple. I mean, this thing is stupidly priced from them. They need to look, and if you get like a bigger hard drive from them, it's ridiculous how much they charge. It's a matter of like, those prices need to come down massively. And maybe that's what they're planning. Maybe there's a deal they can strike with getting these things suddenly to more affordable levels. 1 terabyte entry has to be where it is at $399. I agree with you guys. I just don't see how at all.
Yep.
So I could see them doing a $500 2 terabyte pretty easily. But I don't know. Maybe $449. Maybe they launch at $449. Split the difference.
No, you can't go over 400. You can't do it.
Okay.
You have to launch at 400. Now, like you're saying though, I could see them doing like a tiers. Like PS3 had 3 systems out at launch.
Yeah.
And so like potentially you could have that whole like,
I remember buying the 20 gigabyte one thing. Oh, it's plenty.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. The 60 gig had the full backwards compatibility hard drive, like a hardware, like not software based. But no, I mean, we'll see. Like and that's also happening too. Is like you're getting full backwards compatibility gameplay as well as you can play against Xbox One players and stuff on these new systems. So there's a lot of technology going into them, And yeah, if you go above 400, it's not been good.
All right. What else we have? Oh, we have the other news of Microsoft, which was revealed. Is we do expect they're at their XO19 event, which is I think in November in London. That is where we will get the reveal of the console design and the pricing, from what I'm understanding here. And that came out of Phil essentially in that interview. He said that we want these details out to you right away because he's like, the reason is it shouldn't hurt the sales of we're not expecting it to hurt any sales because you can play your system, you can play your games anyways.
I don't know how much more the sales could be hurting, as we'll get to in a little
Sure.
bit.
Well, that's true. Well, that's what we'll get into. I haven't seen these numbers yet. I have not seen these numbers, but he's not expecting a big hit because your library goes with you from now on. So it's like, and he, that's why they don't mind releasing.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah. So you can buy a system now this year, and when you're ready to move up to the next system, bring it with you. So, all right. Let's get these MP numbers.
Well, I just want to mention real quick, the Avengers designs are not changing.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, this is set?
Crystal Dynamics came out and said they will not change the designs of the Avengers.
I really expected that.
Did you see they also said in an interview or whatever that it's just coincidence that the cast is the original 5 in the first Avengers movie too? I'm just like, dude, come on, man.
That's why you made shirts with their logos because it was coincidence.
Wow.
Oh, God. I can't. I was so curiously optimistic for that game because we've been hearing about it for years, and then just that tepid trailer. I was just like, the more went on, the less hyped I got. Just it
makes me so much more. Ultimate Alliance got more hype from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Again, this just shows to me art direction. Makes up so much. I love the vibrant, colorful, cartoony look in Ultimate Alliance because that's my childhood right there. Whereas I look at that crap in Avengers and it's just that's discount Avengers. That's not
right. Yeah. Well, that's the problem is because you have a product out there, and then you're emulating that product, but you're not giving us the same look. Yeah, it's wait, these aren't the real ones. The real ones are.
I've seen cosplay of better renditions of those each of those characters.
Yeah, and that's my problem with it. It's it definitely feels like you're getting these B-list guys to play. Remember that Jerry Seinfeld episode with the other Jerry and
broke ass Jerry?
Yeah, it's Elaine has friends, all of her friends are these broke ass versions. And these are broke ass versions of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked the response was we're not changing the design. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
So all right.
Maybe they'll spell you changes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's get into MPD. Tony, what do we got here?
All right. So for hardware numbers, and this is coming from a video game forum that had some cryptic leakers. I won't name the source, but fairly reliable people have done the math and everything like that. Xbox One for the month of May did 86,000 units, which is the lowest it's ever been for any month in its history so far.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, 137,000, and Nintendo Switch, 216,000. So unfortunately, the growth by the Switch is outnumbered, is dragged down by the decline in Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Getting into the official release from the NPD group. So breakdown was total of $641 million for the month, down 11% from $717 million in May 2018. Hardware is $149 million, which is down 20%. PC and console software, $262 million, down 13%. Accessories, $230 million, which is up less than 1% from $229 million. Year-to-date spending, blah, blah, blah. Everything is down. Overall, it's down 3% when compared to last year. Declines in hardware spending have offset growth in sales of accessories and game cards.
Oof. It wasn't a good month.
Nope, it wasn't. So software, dollar sales of tracked console, portable, and PC video game software reached $262 million, falling 13%. Mortal Kombat 11 repeated as the best-selling game of the month and is now the best-selling game of 2019 year-to-date. Month 2 sales of Mortal Kombat 11 nearly doubled the comparable sales of any other Mortal Kombat game in the history of the franchise. It was the best-selling game on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One platforms. The second best-selling game of May was Days Gone, repeating its April performance. It is now the 8th best-selling game of 2019 year-to-date. Minecraft returns to the monthly top 10 bestsellers list, ranking as the 9th best-selling game of May and the 7th best-selling game of the month on Xbox One. So software rankings at number 1, Mortal Kombat 11, as we discussed. Number 2, Days Gone. Number 3, here's a surprise: Total War: Three Kingdoms. I did not see that.
The Total War series, for some reason, has a huge following.
Yeah.
You don't hear about it much, but it's always been there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Number 4 was Rage 2, no digital sales included.
Okay.
Number 5 is the 5th installment of this popular series that Jim loves.
Nope.
Number 6 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yep.
Number 7 was Red Dead Redemption 2.
No.
Number 8 was MLB 19 The Show. Number 9, Minecraft. Number 10, NBA 2K19. 11, Mario Kart 8. 12, Tom Clancy's Division 2. Number 13, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. 14, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. 15, Marvel Spider-Man returns to the chart.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Number 16, Legend of Zelda Breath of the
Wild.
Wild.
I think.
Yep. Number 17, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Number 18, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Number 19, debuting the month, Team Sonic Racing. And number 20, Yoshi's Crafted World. So,
I wonder, like, it seems like a lot of people are pretty hyped for Crash Team Racing.
mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that might have hurt Sonic.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Sega didn't really advertise the game either.
Yeah,
When it
no.
came out, I was like, oh.
I actually didn't know it was even out until I saw it on
Yeah,
sale.
and
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I forgot I don't think I mentioned it either. I actually did play that game. Did I mention this?
I don't think
No.
you did.
One of my neighbor here at my apartment complex, he got a couple games for his birthday, which one of them was that, and we played it. And it's not like bad, but when like you have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the system already from like the first year of the Switch,
Yeah.
it's like, but why? Like why?
And the other reason is like, why is he driving?
Right? Why is he driving? And like, there's just everything that makes Mario Kart great, like, is just missing. Like, like from like sound effects to like the music to everything. It's going in like discount or broke ass, like just a lesser version of a better game already available in the system. So just like, whatever.
All right. Right. So that's your MPDs. I'm kind of shocked Days Gone's as far up as it is.
Yeah. So the one thing I did want to mention then, so the top 10 best-selling games of 2019 year to date. Number 1, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 2, Kingdom's Heart 3. Number 3, Division 2. Number 4, Anthem is still hanging on. Number 5, Resident Evil 2. Number 6, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 8 is Days Gone. Number 9, MLB The Show. And number 10 is actually Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, nice. Very
Not a
good.
bad top 10.
No, it's good. All right. Lastly, we forgot to mention the Jedi Fallen Order news about no human dismemberments in this game. And they failed to show us all that it was a Metroid style game. I think that was the biggest thing we missed on this demo, which we all were like, meh, over, very lackluster over. I was kind of shocked to hear that, actually. I don't know why they chose to show it the way they did. But that was news that came out.
Yeah. No, I heard the kind of funny guys, like they really liked the gameplay. They said they were kind of down on it when they first saw it, but once they got their hands on it and played it, it was much better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Hearing that it's a Metroidvania makes me way more interested in it now.
Yeah. I am definitely more interested in it now. So, and that being said, let's get into our list of. Basically, what we're going to do is we did our list last week, and it was kind of towards the end of the E3 episode, which we were all burnt on. So we want to kind of go through this list a little better this time, and we're going to go over those numbers, like where we gave these numbers. And even though you may have heard it last week, we're going to really go into it a lot better this time.
Yeah, explain it more.
The one we won't be able to is Mike, because he's not here. So as you know, the rules are we have a score from 1 through 5 for these games coming out for the rest of this year. Only the rest of this year. We can give out 1, 7, and 1, 0. And I'll try to remember, Mike. I mean, clearly we're going to kick it off with the first game here, Ultimate Alliance 3, and that's in July. That's Mike's 7, and I think that makes sense because, especially after the Avengers, I mean, I gave this a 4 myself. What'd you give it, Corey? We all gave it a 4.
yeah, I actually don't have the document open yet.
Okay, we all gave this a 4. Besides Mike, who gave it a 7. So I clearly this is a big game for us for being, comic book fans and Marvel fans of the Marvel Universe, and Mike included. So I'm psyched for this game, especially being on the Switch. I think the platform is perfect for it. Multiplayer kind of game. I'm looking forward to actually playing that quite a bit. So it looks fun. Looks fun for me. And you guys, Corey, you gave it a 4.
Yep. No, I mean, I love Ultimate Alliance. There's some great memories with it, and to see that this game exists now, it's like, it's amazing. That it's coming in. It's on the perfect console too. Like, it couldn't have done it better. Like if this came to all the other ones, like it's still I'd be getting this on Switch just because portability. It's like a bite-size kind of type of game where you can kind of get in and get out quickly and easily. So I'm really excited that this is happening, especially on the Switch too, which really gets my hype levels higher.
Yeah, absolutely. I gave it a 4 too, and I think even last year we did a podcast where like our most like wished for sequels or something like that, and I think we all said like we mentioned Marvel Ultimate Alliance because and like Marvel was just in a limbo state of like video game stuff, and like who would have thought like a year or two, whatever it was, it comes back and it's like, oh, so it's not Activision anymore. It's a collaboration with Nintendo and Koei Tecmo. And then I'm not sure if you guys read any of the links of articles and interviews I sent you that came about of E3, but it gives me a lot more faith because not that I had like less faith, but the people at Koei Tecmo were actually really excited to get this to make the game because there's a lot of like big Marvel fans. So just hearing them talk about it and write about it, like they're all like they're aiming for the biggest roster, obviously, even base edition without DLC included. They're like, we want to have the greatest number of characters. We're trying to get all the big favorites, and in addition to like really obscure characters like what's her name, Elsa, whatever. She's like that British sniper chick, which is like from a weird series. And I was like, I could not believe that I saw her in a trailer. I was like, what? I was like, that's a really oddball pick for this type of game. And yeah, just looking forward to it so much.
Yeah.
It's one
art style is great.
Art style is great.
Yeah.
Like, bring the X-Men back.
Cool. Yes. All right. Next game up is on the 19th as well, and that would be Wolfenstein Youngblood. Mike gave this a 1. I gave it a 2 because I like the co-op aspect of this game. So I'm looking forward to that. I never got into the Wolfenstein games, even though I heard that they were so good. I even have 2, I think, unopened because, of course, I don't play that until you play 1. But I'm looking forward to this quite a bit. Youngblood. So I gave it a 2. Mike?
Yeah, I was highest on it, I think, with 3.
3, yeah.
And that's mostly due because I do love the first game so much, and the first 2 games that we had. And the co-op aspect is interesting because the first couple of games were basically solo games, so they kind of really focus on the story and what you're doing, and there are definitely some oh shit moments in them, and so I really like that story and how it concluded, I guess you could say. And then this is pretty interesting, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah. Tony, what'd you give it?
Yeah, I give it a 1. Not like, Wolfenstein is one of the things where like I'm mildly interested. It's just one of those things where like I don't even know how many games I've missed in that. Even the reboot franchise, so it's like, at some point maybe I'll catch up. But
okay, all right. Next up on the 26th of July is Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I gave this a 4 for me. Mike gave it a 1. I'm looking forward to this. I love the Fire Emblem games. I'm new to the universe, but I'm very psyched to get this new version on the Switch to play it at home and also on the go. For me, it's a true Fire Emblem game, so I'm psyched for it naturally. Corey, you gave it a 4.
Yeah, I gave 4 as well. Just and a lot of the reason I think is like some of the new stuff that came out definitely helps as well. Because at first you're like, I'm gonna trust it's good because it's Fire Emblem mainline game here, and it's on Switch, so we're gonna get the nice graphics. We're gonna get probably a crazy story here, but who knows what's going on with this school aspect of it, but. Getting to hear there's some more to that, it's pretty exciting. So I'm really excited for this one as well. And again, Switch has been a very, convenient console for me.
Yes, it's very nice to have that. Yeah. So, Tony,
this is my 7 highest.
Cool.
I mean, going into E3, I was really cautiously optimistic for the game because the whole premise, and I think I said this last week, but I'll repeat it anyway because I felt necessary. It's like leading up to it, like the information, the way they trickled the information out there was like very low, and they're like, hey, look, it's essentially Fire Emblem cross Harry Potter, where it's like, oh, there's different schools, and for the different, or it's a school and different houses for the factions. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And I mean, all right, but like that's not Fire Emblem. Like this is really weird. And I was like, okay, I don't know about this, but it's Fire Emblem, so I gotta at least be interested in it. And then E3 came out, and they're like, boom, here's like these other aspects that make this Fire Emblem now. I'm like, oh, was like, first of all, the story, I'm like, oh shit, that's actually pretty interesting now. Like, totally on board with this. And then just seeing the treehouse footage where they played it for, I think, an hour or so, maybe less. I was like, okay, this looks super awesome, very deep, very complex, actually, compared to the other games where they got rid of the weapon triangle, actually, and there's more skills and abilities, and there's trade-offs between, like, using some of those abilities will, like, reduce durability for your weapon, so you got to, like, make sure that you're not just using your ultimate attack on every, jobber and stuff like that. So I'm really interested and super hyped for this game. Come out soon enough.
Yep. Next up is August 30th. That's Astral Chain, which was the game from Ninja Theory, right? Theory? No, sorry. Ninja Platinum. Wow. That's the one I meant to say. And then the other one came out wrong. I knew what it was when I said it. So, all right. I gave that a 2. The game looks like a lot of fun. It's not 100% always my kind of game from those guys, but it looks like a lot of fun. So I gave it a 2. Mike gave it a 1. Corey, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 4. I'm really excited for this one. Just I got the first trailer, like, what the fuck is this?
yeah, definitely.
and it's like, whatever. I think Platinum. It's like they could be great and they could be terrible.
Exactly.
Like,
you don't know. Yeah.
And then the E3 stuff came out. Like, oh wow, this actually seems a lot more interesting. And like, I'm really like looking forward to this game. And again, it's a Switch title, so it's like perfect for me and the convenience aspect of it. And yeah, the E3 coverage of it was or what they showed trailer made me much more interested in seeing what we're going to get here, because gave us a little more into what the Astral Chain is and like what we're doing here, and so I'm excited to see where they take this.
Yep. I also gave it a 4. I love Platinum. For me, it's more hit than miss. I know most of the time I know when like usually it's their licensed game. I'm like, I don't need to play this one. But this just looks crazy and off the hook, so to speak. Just a really interesting thing, and I mean it's a new IP, so that's really cool.
Right.
And actually, the person that's I believe directing it, producing, one of the two, actually also worked on Nier Automata. So I think a lot of like he wasn't like high up, but he was like a step down from like, or he's a lead on something. So I really think he's looking for an opportunity to like shine and do his own thing. So I'm like super hyped about that. The world seems really cool. It's like that
art style's good.
Yeah, futuristic like Japanese cyberpunk thing, where it's like, and they even talked about it in an interview. They're like, oh yeah, we were inspired by like stuff like obviously Ghost in the Shell or like Armitage the Third, whatever. I'm like, hell yeah, like that's really cool. I love that. So looking forward to that.
All right, next up is Gears 5, September 10th. Mike gave this a 2. I gave this a 3 because I played the other games. I don't think it was, and I'm just repeating myself from last week, I wasn't as hyped as Corey here because, I don't know, I just felt like, I don't know, I think it's the time. I don't know. It's just like the way they showed it. Not the fatigue. It's the way they showed the game at the E3. I think it didn't help build any hype for me.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because I think they did a much better job last year with it.
Yeah, they probably did.
Year.
If they did this again last year, I'd probably give it a higher rating. But Corey, what'd you give it? You gave it.
I gave it a 5. So without giving it a 7, I gave my highest hype because I love Gears, and I do like the direction they're taking this one, and. More story-based, kind of going in depth with the character Kate and her whole story, and kind of confirming some of the stuff that people were like hinting, or like theorizing about in the last game. So we'll see. But then they're also adding a couple new modes, which look exciting. The escape mode is actually something that seems like a good addition to the Gears universe. It makes sense and kind of brings in a sense of urgency to that mode. I just wish they did show some more stuff. They didn't really show much on the conference, but they did show like you could go out and find it now if you wanted to.
Well, I know, but I just felt like the presentation was lacking.
And then obviously you're gonna get to play as.
That's what?
Their Dark Fate tie-in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about, like how that's going to play into it, but I'm sure it's going to be like a multiplayer skin.
Yeah. Tony, what'd you give it?
I give it 2. it's mildly interesting. The fact that it'll be available on Game Pass means there's a possibility I'll play it.
Sure.
It's one of those things that I always enjoyed, like the multiplayer, like what is it, horde mode.
Again, I like love the dodgeball multiplayer mode. Like I don't know why people haven't done that before. Like, no other games are doing it still. Like I thought that mode would be in like every game after.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, two. Yeah.
Yeah, two. Borderlands 3 is next, so we can skip that. Everybody gave that a 0, 9, 13. All right. No, anyways, what do we get here? Mike gave this a 3. He was, I think, the lowest out of us. I gave this my 5 because I love Borderlands 1 and 2. And the only one I didn't really play a lot of was the pre-sequel. I think it was because of the timing of it. I was sick of that I played so much into the other games already at that point that I didn't play that. But I love Tales from the Borderlands as well. And I love that they're bringing in that part of the universe to this as well. And I want to play the DLC for Borderlands 2. I'm so happy they brought that out. So I'm psyched for this. It's September 13th. Corey, well, Tony, what did you give it? Because we know Corey gave this. But what did you give this one?
I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
I think, seeing it at PAX East was so cool. It's one of those rare instances where, like, I think just being there in person
it brings you into it. Yeah.
Just adds to the hype meter and everything like that. So it's really cool. I'm excited to be there day one because, like, the thing is, like, I didn't try Borderlands 1 until, like, way after everybody was done with it. And Borderlands 2, even then, I kind of missed out on it.
I loved
this one. I'm excited.
Handsome Jack was such a great
I think we should all play that, obviously, at some point together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, like, co-op games, like, I feel like this generation, like, the co-op games have not been present. So
as enticing at least.
Couch co-op thing. Like people are like, oh, it says couch co-op. It's like,
exactly.
That's a thing. Like,
yep.
So, Corey, what'd you give it?
Well, obviously, if I could, I would give it all of my points. But this got my 7. This is the most hype. I like Tony mentioned like PAX, and like I specifically drove up to PAX, like to Boston, for that one event. That's the only reason I went to PAX. There's only one day, and I was like, you know what? Like this is a game I was hoping for, and like that they needed to bring out. Gearbox really needed this game for their company specifically, but for fans, we definitely it's coming at a great time, and everything that they've shown so far has just been like what everyone has wanted from
nailing it.
It's like and all the criticisms like that people gave like when they first saw the original trailers, like it didn't seem warranted because you didn't know anything about it initially, and it's like why like, you're giving the fans everything they would want. Like they're just getting more Borderlands. You're not kind of getting influenced by the battle royales. You're not getting influenced by the the microtransaction money loot boxes and stuff like that. So they're taking Borderlands 2's like best aspects and then bringing it into a modern game. And from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot, the movement is much more modernized. You get mantling, you get sliding, and you're gonna have multiple alternate fire modes on weapons. And so like there's just so much more that bring into this game that is what we wanted from a new Borderlands, and not like giving us what everybody else is giving people. So I really love that they're doing that, and that's why it's just my most hyped game of this year. Yeah, and it'll probably be the most hyped game of all time until Borderlands 4.
Yeah,
this is my favorite franchise of all time.
Yeah, probably. All right. Link's Awakening is next, and that is my most hyped game. I give it a 7. Mike gave it a 1. I give it a 7 because I'm even more when I read about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm so happy to get a Zelda game this year, especially this game in this style. I don't know what it is about the nostalgia of that. It looks incredible the way they've remade this game, and I'm so hyped to play it. I really want them to do, like I said, A Link to the Past is probably my favorite Zelda game of all time, but like. This is that was the sequel essentially to this, and so it's like this is like the setup for that. And I don't know, I'm just so hyped to play this game like crazy. So I give it my 7. It looks fantastic. I can't wait, and they're going to give us new stuff in this game for the people that have played it before. So I'm psyched for that. Corey, what'd you give it?
I'm a little down on this one. No, I'm about a 2. And what's funny is like. Because you're so high on the art style. I actually don't really
I do like the art style.
The art style.
Ooh, I think it looks good. I love what they're doing with this.
No, I know. And that's why I think I'm less hyped for it. Because I do love these games. I like Awakening and Link's Past, and I think those are the only ones I've really, other than Ocarina, are the only Zelda games I've ever really like finished and played. And I don't know what it is. I just kind of wish the art style was
more
not
pixel,
retro,
pixel.
But I find it too cartoony for me.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. All right, Tony.
For me, it gets a 4. In retrospect, I could probably bump this up to a 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Link's Awakening is one of my favorite games of all time. Despite it amazes me that it was a Game Boy game. Like, not even Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I know.
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
original ass Game Boy.
Green.
And even green. And even then, fantastic game. Just some awesome tracks too. Like Ballad of the Windfish is still so memorable. And like again, coming out of fucking Game Boy, like that speaks
4-bit music, or was it 6-bit? I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that. Something crazy. And it was such a huge impression, and really, truly, that's what led me to like love the Zelda games because it was just so awesome. Yeah. And it was, nostalgia talking here, but like that was a game where like for years, I remember every summer, whenever like we would take a road trip somewhere, like that was it, like time to play through Link's Awakening again. Like there we go.
Yeah.
So it was one of those games where like I've replayed so many times, and I'm really excited because it's been 25, 26 years since then. It's not available on any system legally. Of course. And I love this art style. Zelda, I've talked about it before, but like they do such a really good job of just trying different styles. And sometimes it works better than others. Mm-hmm. Like I know at the Wind Waker reveal, when it was just like Toon Link or whatever like that, I know there's some pushback because people really wanted that Space World demo Link versus Ganon realism. But I think it's aged way better in retrospect, and people love that art style now. Yeah. I still will never forget the reactions of the internet when that happened, stuff like that. But like you have the realism of Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and you have like the cartoony 3DS games and the DS games, stuff like that. And then you have like Skyward Sword, which is almost like painting-esque Skyward Sword, which was like almost like a Miyazaki thing, Studio Ghibli, and like this is just it looks like little toys, where it's just like they're just that. Like I don't know if you guys saw the amiibo for Link. But like it looks like they just straight up ripped the render from the game, and it's like that's the amiibo. It's
perfect.
That's so
perfect.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just super looking forward to that game.
Yeah. Next up is Code Vein, which is September 27th. Mike gave this his 0. He just has no interest in this game whatsoever.
I don't think we need to talk about this.
I gave this a 1. Corey, you gave this. What'd you give this?
I gave it a 2. I mean, as far as like Dark Souls, and if you like Dark Souls and you like anime, maybe you'll like this. Maybe.
Tony, what'd you give it?
1.
Yeah, it's the same thing across the board. Okay, Ghost Recon's after that, October 4th. Mike and I both gave this a 1. Again, this is kind of like I'm not gonna play it. Like it's not for me. Corey, you gave this a 2.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm excited for it, and like they're making. I like that. We talked about John Berthenol is in it and stuff.
But even then I'm just like I haven't played Ghost Recon since
but yeah, I don't think I'll play this.
No. All right, we have, let's see, after that, we have
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds is next, October 25th. That would be Mike's 5. He is looking forward to this because he's a Fallout fan, and it has a very Fallout vibe to it. And because of that, I gave it a 3, and especially because I found out...
Which they made Fallout Vegas, which he really liked as well.
Yeah. I mean, we all give this a 3 besides him. For me, this actually goes up in points because of the fact that I heard it's a smaller scoped game. It's like a 20-hour game, and... that world is great, but it's overbearing depending on how much time you have. And to know you have a condensed 20-hour game that's similar to that, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks cool.
Like why we're comparing it to Fallout because
it looks like Fallout.
I mean, I even heard people after E3, they're like, "Yeah, take Fallout and shoot it into space." And
it's like I wasn't sure. Like it seemed to be a little different as far as. Combat wise, I didn't think it had like the VAT system or anything like that.
No, but it doesn't. But it does have that look. Next up is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, October 25th. I will use my 0 happily in this situation. I just have no interest in Call of Duty. I'm done with this.
My 0 as well.
No interest. I would go on to a rant about. I saw a tweet the other day about a former military guy who was a Marine that played this game. He now does game journalism. He's a journalist now for gaming. He played this game, and there's a point in this game where you're able to accidentally or on purpose shoot women and children in the game. And he's like, well, why is that there? And the guy was saying, well, we want the most realism in the game as possible. And the guy's like, and then he just went off. The journalist went off on the guy and said, like, there's no purpose in the game for this. Like, there's zero purpose for a game in this. How is the game is going to decide if you've done this by accident or on purpose? And it's just like, he just went on this rant. This tweet was like forever long. I was just reading it, but it just, again, like, I have no interest in this game whatsoever. Corey, you're probably the highest in on the Call of Duty games for us. What did you give it?
I gave it a 1.
Yep.
I it's still funny because, like, Modern Warfare, this is the 4th Modern Warfare game, and Modern Warfare was the 4th Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
And it's like that game kind of propelled Call of Duty to what we have now. But this game just doesn't interest me at all, really.
Death Stranding is next. That's the weirdest looking game. We know a little bit more about it, at least now. November 8th. Let's see. Mike gave it a 3, surprisingly. I gave it a 2. Just because it's Kojima. I gave it over a 1 because it's Kojima, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do.
We gotta find out more about it, even though the thing is, like, we'll probably play it and beat it and not know it.
Yeah, will we know the ending? Will it make sense when he has time to develop a game himself? Can you give us an ending, because we didn't get one really in Metal Gear Solid 5? Corey, what did you give this one?
I gave it a 3, just because the engine that he's using and giving Kojima this full control to kind of just go crazy and not be confined in a Metal Gear Solid universe that he's been doing for like ever, it intrigues me. I'm interested to see, like, when you are going to give this guy full reign, just like, give me whatever game you want. Like, I want to know what that is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I understand.
Yeah, Corey, what you just said is so true, because, like, we don't know, and I mean, just reading interviews of, like, his ideas for older Metal Gear Solid games, like, his other leads and team had to really pull him back. They're like, he's like, what if you had to, like, I don't know, like, burn the manual to like get like a secret piece of film out for a code to enter in the game? And they're like, what? Like, I don't think it was exactly that, but it's something as ludicrous as that. It's like,
yeah,
bro, like, what? No, man, like, that's
this is Kojima Unchained, so it's like, oh, what are we gonna get with this game?
Right.
Really?
So it could be either really good or really bad. But even aside from that, like, I'm still just so confused what the story is, what the gameplay is like. Like,
yes, yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I need to see more. And
he says action game,
right? Exactly. So
we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Next up is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, November 15th. I'm going to change this to a 3 now.
Yep.
For myself. I gave it a 2 originally, and after hearing about the fact that it's a Metroid style more game where you can pick and choose what planet you go to next, it just seemed very, bland and very
demo. God.
Well, it seemed like it was an on rails, like, Star Wars game that seems slow.
That's what it seemed like. And I know it's very linear while you're in the planet where you're going and stuff, but there's backtracking, and, like, when you get new abilities unlocked, you can go back and unlock more. I think that is something they should have mentioned in their demo to us at E3. To hear that afterwards, I think it hurt itself by doing that, not doing that. So, but yeah. So, Corey, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 2 because of the stuff that we saw and the fact that it's just so generic looking as well. It's just like, it didn't look interesting. And again, we've been talking about this a lot, like art style and art direction and the look and things. Like, if you're not drawing me in initially, it's, you gotta make it you gotta be attractive at first to get me interested in, like, learning more. And this game just looks so generic. So I was like, I could probably skip this and be okay.
Yeah. Tony?
I gave it a 2, but I'd probably bump it up to a 3 now. It's just like something where it's like Metroidvania, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting, and, like, you're on more planets, so, like, that's cool because it's exploration. But that demo did not sell me on it. So
All right, next up, Pokemon Sword and Shield on November 15th as well. I gave this a 4. By the way, Mike gave that other one a 3 as well, Jedi Fallen Order. He gave this one a 2. Sword and Shield, I'm psyched to play Pokemon. I haven't played one in a while. This looks really good. It's the perfect idea to, like, go home, pop it in the dock, play it on the TV, pick it back up, play it on the road. It's Pokemon. You want to play it everywhere. You got to catch them all. And what's funny is, like, they reported that both games will not have all the Pokemon. I'm like, isn't that the way Pokemon works? Like, isn't that how it always works with Pokemon? They stopped doing that.
It's HD now, man. It's HD.
Kids these days are spoiled. I had to buy both versions to get both Pokemon.
Oh, thank you, because that's exactly what I told people. Like, because people were bitching, and I'm like, You've
No,
never
I mean,
been able to buy
when
one.
we bought red, I was like, you got to buy blue.
Yeah.
My brother.
Absolutely, yeah. You had to know somebody had the other one if you were going to buy the one color. You had to. It's ridiculous. Like, this is part of Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is what they do. Hell, the first one,
I'll
if you,
wait
bought,
for that gun version.
if you bought yellow, the Pikachu edition, you had to buy blue and red to get all the Pokemon.
Yeah, I you know, Kurt, you made that joke, but I seriously hope that next year they do Pokemon Gun, like just to make the memes complete.
Yeah. So I'm psyched for this. Corey, what'd you give it?
Yeah, I'm not as hyped up as you are. I gave it a 3. I'm excited to see Pokemon on a next gen console. You know, like this is kind of their first foray into a console Pokemon game, and so like I want to see what they're doing. It was interesting. Some of the stuff they're doing is kind of interesting. Some of the art style was kind of like what, but I mean it's Pokemon, so there is that addiction factor of like gotta catch them all, like you're saying, and yeah, I'm very curious to see how this game is and what they're going to do on a full console version instead of a handheld that they've been confined to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Tony, what'd you give it?
Yeah, I gave it a 4 as well. Mm-hmm. Super looking forward to this because, along the line of Corey just mentioned, like having the Pokemon Company and Game Freak being able to work on a handheld device that has the power of a console, an HD console is just awesome. You could really see the Pokemon come to life, and just it's really crazy to think about. If you look at like screenshots of like Pokemon Red and Blue on the original Game Boy, going back to the original Game Boy, and like what we're getting with Sword and Shield, it's just like it's so crazy to think of how that the series itself has evolved along with creatures in the 30 years or whatever that it's been out. So it's just awesome. I think it's really cool, like Jim, you said, being able to play it portably like you always have, but being able to dock it and like play it on the big screen is just so cool because I remember fondly, like even on like the DS and days, like we'd all gather at somebody's house just to hang out, watch movies or whatever. And like there'd always be a couple people with like their DSs and they're just like kind of like grinding out like Pokemon battles or like raising.
Dude, I remember Buddha talking about playing Pokemon while he was driving.
Yes, he had it on his steering wheel.
Yeah, I was like, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So But yeah, so all right, that's coming out then. What else we got? We've got Shenmue 3, November 19th. Mm-hmm. Mike gave that a 3, shockingly. I didn't think that was his style of a game. But
no, I'm pretty surprised by that also.
I gave it a 4 because again, I pre-ordered this game. Well, pre-ordered. I pre-bought it if it came out. If it actually exists, we back this. So man, yeah, I'm looking forward to this more, well, about the same right now because I found out that this guy is planning how many more games again? Was it like 7 more games or something like that? It's ridiculous. This is like 40%. We're 40% through the story after this game, which kind of hurts me in my hype level a little bit for this. But
yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, so I was a little annoyed when I saw that one. I'm like, dude, how many more games are you going to possibly get from this game? But so I gave it a 4. Corey, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 3. I think that I was way more hyped initially, obviously. That has come down, and I'm just being a little more realistic as far as what to expect from this game.
Yeah.
And but I'm excited to see it continue. I mean, that is the biggest thing here is that we're getting this 3rd chapter, and hopefully it does well enough where we do get these other games. But that definitely also hurts the hype as far as knowing we may not complete the story.
Yeah, that's the problem. Tony, what'd you give it?
I give it a 2. I'm not interested in personally playing it, but I will definitely watch people stream it and stuff like that because I appreciate the game because it's
kind of game that works for that though too. You can really love to enjoy the story after that. Yeah,
because I mean I love it. I think it's a unique aspect. Just unique type of game and stuff like that. And I think it's cool that it was kickstarted and funded and stuff like that. But as for personally playing it, don't really care.
Yeah. Let's see.
If you do want to catch up on the first 2, the first 2 are on Game Pass.
And now I have Game Pass Ultimate, so I'm grabbing that. But all right, let's see. Doom Eternal, November 22nd. Mike gives this a 1. I gave it a 2. I mean, I liked what I saw from the first the 2016 Doom game, and it seems like from what I understand from the interview I heard today, they've taken that game and every aspect they were trying to enhance, and they were going to call it Doom 2, and they thought, well, that would be very confusing for everybody, so they decided to just call it Doom Eternal, which makes me like remember back to how good Doom 2 was over Doom 1, and I'm like, oh, this could be really good now, but I still stand by my 2, but I'm kind of it's interesting.
Yeah.
Corey, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 2 as well. I think as far as this game, it kind of reminds me of the Fast and Furious. Like as far as like this is just a game where it's just like the most video gamey game that you get and what they're throwing at you. So I think this would probably go up a little bit. Just learning more about it and the fact that like I think people can jump into your game as the enemies.
Yeah,
It's really cool. And then you're fighting angels and demons. It's just like this very video gamey.
Yep.
Yeah. Tony.
Yep. I think it was the highest I got. Yeah, definitely.
You love the first one, yeah.
Yeah, I love the first one because like, it's interesting seeing how like the evolution of the first person shooter throughout the generations and stuff like that. And I feel like with a 360 and especially this generation, it was just mostly like military shooters. And like, don't get me wrong, they're cool. I like some of them, but I felt like a lot was lost in that aspect too. Where like just Corey was saying like a video gamey like first person shooter. Like I don't care about like realism. I don't care about like camouflage and all this other bullshit. I just want to shoot demons like monstrosities in the face and like wreak havoc.
And get a BFG.
Yeah, get a BFG. So it's like, what? Love that. Love everything I'm seeing about Eternal. Probably not a day one purchase for me, but definitely something I'll pick up, on a sale.
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, we have Luigi's Mansion.
We don't have a date for it.
We don't have a date for it. It will be this year. Mike gave it a 1. I gave it a 1. No interest really in this game too much. I just never has interest in me. Luigi's Mansion. Corey.
Yeah, I gave it my 0.
Yeah, Luigi got your 0.
Yep.
Yeah, 0 interest in this. Tony, you gave it a 2, right? You're high.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 just because prior to the show I probably would have given it a 1. But the show I was like, oh, you know what? It's more interesting than I thought. I gave it credit for. It sounds like they took the criticisms of the last one to heart, because like one of the most frustrating, because it was on the 3DS, and one of the frustrating things is like you'd enter a level and like you'd beat the objective and it'd pull you out and you'd have to like go back in and backtrack a lot, and it just got so annoying because it's like you have to go through like certain parts again. You're just like, I already did this. Like, why am I doing that? And now it's just like, okay, you can do multiple objectives like Super Mario Odyssey, where like you can just stay in the same world until you're ready to leave. So I think it's cool, and like some of the stuff they were doing with the abilities of the vacuum are clever.
Yeah.
So it's more interesting than I gave it credit for, but still like it's on the low end of the list for me. I'm like, okay, maybe some point in the future.
They're throwing Luigi a bone.
That's really what it is.
Yep.
So, all right, that's our list, more in depth this time. So, as we mentioned before, the highest on games, I think it was Corey with the hype. He still is at 50. I'm at 48. Tony at 47. Mike was the least hyped on games, 36 points he gave out this year for the remainder of the year. So, yeah, I know he would be good to talk to right now. I remember him saying last week, you can go back. We went over that actually last week. Corey, it's all pretty close. I mean, 3 points difference from us all. The top 2 hyped game from us, I think, were Ultimate Alliance and Borderlands.
Yep.
So that was the 2 hyped games. Respectable wise, enough to. I can see Gears 5 being up there. It is. It's at it's at 12. I mean,
I think we got 16.
Fire Emblem was at 16. Yeah, so we got a 7 on that.
That was with the 1. So
yeah. And then we got So I mean, that's Fire Emblem's pretty up there. Yeah. So that's our top 3. It's Ultimate Alliance. Borderlands 3, and then Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Top 3 most hyped games. Looking forward to it and they deserve it. So I don't know. Anything else to add, guys, to this?
Nope. Looks like what I want to say is like the rest of the year looks amazing.
It does,
especially like the summer months, and it's mostly me because I'm a Nintendo fan. But like from here on out, like every month, so like this month it's Bloodstained and Super Mario Maker 2. Next month, it's fucking Ultimate Alliance 3 and Fire Emblem. And then August, it's Astral Chain. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, Nintendo. Like, what are you doing? Right? Like, yeah. And then September is Link's Awakening. It's like, you couldn't have like pushed one of these up like a month, like to May, because like I'm just sitting here doing nothing. And like, 2 months.
I mean, Bloodstained at least is out, but right now I'm playing Sekiro and Bloodstained when we play.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's going to wrap up 451 then of the Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us, podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. You can like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. We love that, please. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. We'll have more topics for you. We appreciate it. Thanks again.